Oh, man. Are you kidding me? Oh, ah! Well, hopefully you read the slides because I had my mic on mute. What is going on today, guys? Seriously, we're having tech issues all over the place. Tech gremlins. It's live, right? Okay, so I'm here. I just was talking with my mic on mute. Yeah, feeling very silly right now. Not good, not good, it's not good. Thank you. Thanks for being here. What about you? Talk to me. Get me out of this tech funk. I want to know why you're here today. Is it because you've and let me know. So find the chat group, say hi, and let me know what your why is. Why are you here today? Is it because you've lost the passion for your 9 to 5? 9 to 5. What a patriarchal construct that is. And you need a change. You're a bit bored of the corporate hamster wheel. I've been there. Or maybe you've got kids and you want to make some extra money from home, or maybe you're looking after aged parents and you need that bit of flexibility. Would you like to build a side hustle? This is like my email yesterday. Is it time to monetize something that you already do due to the cost of living going up? Have you always been interested in becoming your own boss, but never had the guts to start, or not know where to start, or just felt overwhelmed about going it alone? Or you haven't achieved the career goals you set out for yourself, or maybe you started in a career and then it just decided it wasn't for you, or all of the above. So please find the chat group. Hello. And tell me. I would love to hear. Oh, hang on. Let me talk to you all. Hello. All right. Okay. I want to know what is stopping you from moving ahead with this or your own home-based business. Is it money constraints? Is it time constraints? Is it lack of know-how? Is it family duties, current job restraints? Or is it fear, self-doubt, lack of confidence? I've got to say that all of those 6 things are so tiny little hurdles to get over. We have got solutions for all of those. Do you want to know what the main thing is that stops people from moving ahead? It's not on here. Do you want to know? Nobody wants to know. Very quiet today. They're probably all just left because they're sick of me. You want to know? Okay, thank you, Eliza. It's partners, husbands, partners. Yeah. So majority, 99.9% of Primal listers are women, right? We've had a couple of guys, but mostly women, and they love this idea. But husbands, and it's not that they're unsupportive, they're actually really supportive, but they really worry that this is that because they've never heard of anything like this before. Is this some kind of Mickey Mouse business? Is it a scam? Who is this woman? And one of my new Primal listers said her husband actually typed in Primal Alternative scam. To see if something was going to come up. Oh, it's been on Today Tonight or something like that. But it's not a scam. It's just me. I'm just a mum in a really regional town of Western Australia with bad internet connection. Just in my jeans and jumper, loving life, living my life aligned with my values and wanting to share that with everybody so everyone can do that too. So yes, interesting. I think I'll talk more about that. Anyway, whatever the reason, you are definitely in the right place. And I'm going to share with you the exact steps you can take to build a freedom-based business, baking delicious food from your very own kitchen. The method I'm going to outline has worked time and time again, so you don't need to worry about whether you have what it takes to be successful. You don't need to stress over where you should begin, whether you have the right sales and marketing skills, or whether you can create a product people like enough to pay money for, because I already know you do have what it takes. And I celebrate you for taking the first huge step by showing up, being super patient with my tech glitches, and watching this webinar today or catching the replay over the weekend. Thank you for joining me. All you need is a little guidance and support on your journey, and you'll be able to achieve your goals in no time. And I've created this webinar to help make your path to success as simple and straightforward as possible. You're about to discover the exact steps you can take to build a successful baking business from home, what you absolutely must do if you want to grow your side hustle into a full-time business, how to choose the right equipment to ensure you bake super tasty restaurant quality food at home, and the most common mistakes new business owners make and why over half fail in the first 3 years, but not you. In about 60 minutes time, you're going to have all the information you need to begin your journey as a Primalista and grow your own super successful baking business, put my teeth back in, from the ground up. But let me be really transparent and specific and say that during this webinar, I'm going to be demonstrating how you can build your bake from home business with the Primalista license. But if you're looking for a DIY option and you want to go it alone, stick around for a comparison. Let's get started. It's all going good. It's all going good. So building your own successful baking business from home can be a daunting thought. And I'm not going to lie, at times it will be challenging. You'll need to roll up your sleeves and put in the hard work. But achieving success can be a lot more easy and manageable when you break down the processes into smaller, actionable stages. So I've condensed everything you need into 5 easy to follow steps. And here they are. Step 1, come up with a plan. A plan is absolutely vital if you're going to succeed in baking from home. To start off, you'll need to decide what type of baking business you want to create. What do you want to sell? Who do you want to sell it to? Primal Alternative is made up of 4 streamlined product lines: ready-made breads, pizza bases and wraps, cookies, pastry, jellies, granola, and packet mixes, which are dry versions of our ready-made products with the same great profit margin and a longer shelf life. Clever. We recently launched our Whole Foods range as well. So think co-op. So where Primalistas sell on their bulk ingredients to their customers. There is a short list of foods you can bake from home. To bake from home, your products need to be low risk or not potentially hazardous. All Primal Alternative products have been lab tested, and our food safety program shows evidence that they are low risk, which is super helpful for you when you're getting your approvals from council. As a food producer, hang on, someone is here. Eliza's back again. Where was I? As a food producer, deciding which products to choose can be difficult. It's a really hard first task. And when I started, I really did everything. I wanted to be everything to everybody. I wanted to do ready-made meals, broths, nut milk, as well as the breads, cookies, pizzas, and jellies. And even though being told I could only produce low-risk foods from home felt like a kick in the guts at the time, it truly was a blessing. As my husband Mike said, focus on nailing a small range of products and get known for doing that well, which is what we've done over the last 8 years. And if you haven't already, check out the product range page on the Primal Alternative website and have a good look at the products. Like, I'm not going to go through them all now because you guys are going to get hungry. As a Primalista, can you explain what a low risk product is? Sure. So a low risk product just means that it's low risk. It is what it says. So for example, I'll give you an example of a high risk product. So things like meat, dairy, cream, liquids where, so all of our products are heat treated at 180 degrees. So the chances of giving somebody food poisoning are low risk. Okay, does that hopefully clarify that? Hope so. Let me know if not. And as a Primalista, you can choose what you bake and sell. You can also choose where you want to sell and how much time you want to devote to your business. Yes, you can go gangbusters and be a baking machine 5 days a week, but most Primalistas want to start out small and build up over time, which is okay. We don't need to be hitting the ground running and kicking goals and all those other patriarchal words. So keeping it streamlined and niche is key to long-term success. Too many diverse products will soon leave you disillusioned and burnt out. And there are a few reasons I believe healthy alternatives to be the best choice. Oh, look, I've got slides full of what I've just said. Oh my God. Oh, it's live. I haven't done this webinar for a long time, as you can tell. Anyway, it's going good. So there are a few reasons I believe healthy alternatives, where are we? Yes, I think we're here, are the best choice. So firstly, the market is growing, right? Many Aussies have lost faith in the big supermarket brands. In fact, according to a survey by market research experts Player MR, 59% of people believe that natural products meet their dietary requirements much better than regular supermarket foods. I agree with that stat. Do you? Most supermarket aisles are laden with food comprised of 3 key ingredients: wheat, dairy, and sugar. And on top of that, 45% said the range of natural food options in the supermarket is insufficient. So there is definitely space to enter the market. Do you think there is a growing market? Oh, there we go. So, well, there's our range. Look, you can have a look at that. I'll have a sip of coffee. So do you think there is a growing market? What do you think? Is there a growing market for people seeking grain-free, healthy alternatives to comfort staples like bread? It's a resounding yes. Of course it is. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that more and more people are coming up with allergies and food intolerances, right? Because they're tinkering with our food supply. So there's lots of people seeking out healthier alternatives that are actually healthy. So with the growing rise in varying dietary requirements, there is a growing market for healthy homemade alternatives. You know, everybody knows the energy of homemade food is so different to something that's pumped out in a factory and stored in a warehouse, right? So where could you sell your Primal Alternative products to? So let's brainstorm this one in the chat. And the first one to think about is, where do you shop? Because you are an ideal Primal Alternative customer. You know, you hear about where you should get to know your ideal customer avatar if you want to do well in business. Well, that's an easy one. Just think about what you like and what's important to you. So we do really well at places like farmers markets, health food shops, cafes, pizza shop, IGAs, your friendship networks, online, Facebook, Instagram, buy, swap and sell groups, Facebook Marketplace, and any kind of networks, school networks, sport networks, church networks, CWA networks, Scout networks, anywhere, you know, offices where there's a body of people is a great place to stock. And, you know, on the call, when we have a Primalista call, this is a key component of the call. We need to make sure that you can come up with at least 3 unique potential stockists, which means they aren't already being stocked by another Primalista. But don't worry, because there are endless potential stockists and we are nowhere near saturation point. So start making a note on your phone of places you spot when you're out and about. I literally walk down the street saying, there's a potential stockist, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. There's no geographical territory as a Primalista, which is a good thing. It means you really get to be the boss of how big you want to grow your business without being a slave to every stockist in a certain postcode. Primalista's existing stockists are protected, as other Primalistas cannot approach an existing Primal Alternative stockist. Not that you'd want to do that anyway, right? The thing I hear the most on a call from potential Primalistas is that they don't want to step on anyone's toes, right? This collaborative ethos works in real life, as all Primalistas charge the same price and agree in the license agreement to source their own stockists. It's actually a real bonus to have a few Primalistas in your area, as you'll have someone to cover for you when you're sick, someone to share bulk orders with or big events, and someone locally to go for a cuppa with who gets it. Secondly, job satisfaction. Baking healthy food is amazing. And this is what our lovely Primalista Jim said. It is immensely satisfying to create these beautiful products. A full day of baking with love is very fulfilling. At the end of the day, you can lie your head down on your pillow knowing that what you do benefits your community. Plus, it's so much easier to sell something that you actually believe in. If you have a love for clean eating and healthy living, then baking yummy, nutritious food is the way to go. And in this crazy pandemic, post-pandemic, uncertain crisis, if it's given us anything, it's time to reevaluate what's really important. On call after call after call, I hear from people who are in jobs that they could do stood on their head, but they feel unfulfilled, or work that is taking them away from their families and their home. They're at the mercy of their boss, and they have the threat of being stood down at a moment's notice. Who wants that? Creating a sovereign side hustle is a brilliant plan B. So that concludes step one. If you have any questions, please pop them in the chat and I will take them all. So step number 2, take care of the paperwork. I'll just see if I've got any other slides. Ah, yes, well done. Well done, Helen of the past. It's much more interesting with slides. So as exciting it is to start your own business, there are some tedious tasks that you have to take care of before you get to the fun part. You will need to register your business. So you'll need to apply for an Australian business number, which is a unique number that identifies your business to the government, as well as other people you do business with. Now, this is free. You need to create your brand name. Your brand name will promote recognition of your product in the community. When customers see a product that features your brand, they'll know what to expect. Your Primal Alternative business will be called Primal Alternative by your name. As Primalistas don't have geographical territory, keep the location of your business out of the title. Get your food business registration. To bake from home, your kitchen needs to be inspected by a local environmental health officer, or EHO, and you'll need a food business registration before you start baking. Surfaces need to be sealed and ingredients need to be stored in pest-free containers. I created the Primalista license so that you could get started in your own food business quicker than if you started from scratch all on your own. Today, I want to share a little bit more about this cool tool, our food safety program, because it's legit one of the biggest assets that you'll get with the Primalista license. It's a 185-page branded PDF that you can share with your environmental health officer to help with your food business registration. Essentially, it shows how the Primal Alternative products are low risk and not potentially hazardous, making them safe enough to bake from your home kitchen instead of a commercial kitchen. That's a better description, isn't it, Eliza, of what low risk means? And it's a document that I've created over the last 8 years with food technologists and environmental health officers. And inside, you basically will get what your EHO needs to check off on the checklist. So they will be showing that we're small batch, artisan, hand finished. It'll be showing that our processing method and recipes, our packaging, which is compostable cellulose, storage and shelf life, food safety information, and likely risk, which is low. It also has laboratory testing, water activity, standard plate counts, yeast molds, E. coli, etc., an analysis and recommendation by independent food techs showing the products as low risk. It'll also share with you what you need to know to be safe, including personal health and hygiene, food handling skills, how to receive and store your ingredients, how to package, label, and store finished products, transportation, an online shop dispatch, food product recall, and customer service protocol. Now, imagine doing all that on your own, right? It's an awesome document. I love it to bits, and I can't wait for you to check it out when you become a Primalista. A lot of potential Primalistas are concerned about applying for their food business registration and are convinced that their kitchen will not pass and that their council is the worst council. However, and if you're laughing, then you know what I mean. In a recent Primalista survey, which I'm going to share with you in a little while, 78% of Primalistas said getting council approval was a fairly straightforward process. It can be common to get an initial no if you just call your EHO on the hop, but you'll have a much better result when you go about it the right way and give your environmental health officer our food safety program and the EHO letter template that we've got to accompany your application. We also have an environmental health officer checklist. So if they come back with some funny questions, it's a bit of like a troubleshooting kind of checklist. It's very, very cool. And besides, I'm obsessed with food business registrations. So if you get any curly questions, you can always post in the Primalista Facebook group, because, there's over 120 people in there who've got their food business registration who can help, or you can send an email to me and I'll help you out too. How good's that? You are not on your own. Food business registrations have been granted in all states and territories in Australia, Yorkshire, Cornwall in the United Kingdom, the South Island, and soon to be the North Island in New Zealand, Idaho, Tennessee, and Wyoming in the USA. It truly is turning into a global business. And the final thing on the paperwork side of things is organize your insurance. So the insurance you're looking for is product and public liability insurance, and it's vital for any bake from home business because it's going to protect you in the event that someone's harmed by one of your products. For example, they say they get sick after eating something you baked. Now, that's obviously something no one ever expects to happen, but you need to be covered in the unlikely event that it does. Which insurer you go to is a personal choice, and I recommend doing an online search and comparing prices as well as to what is covered before taking out a policy. Primalista Chicken is an insurance broker and in her 6th year with Primal Alternative, and she has helped most of our Aussie Primalistas sort out their insurance, and she can help you too. And you're looking at about $50 a month for that. All right, step 2 is a wrap, girls and boys. All right, so step 3, practice the recipes. Now comes the fun part. It's time to turn on your food processor, whip out your apron, and get baking. And no, a Thermomix is not essential, although it is a good excuse to buy one as a business expense. But seriously, I recommend starting with what you currently mix cakes with. Some Primalistas even just use bowls and electric whisks. But if I was going to start Primalistering again, I would go for a Thermomix or a KitchenAid with the biggest bowl possible. All right, I want to briefly explain how I created my recipes. So back in 2014, I suffered a really horrible health crisis. This was my shopping list of disasters. I basically couldn't poo, couldn't sleep, was extremely depressed. I was anxious. I developed a phobia of flying, didn't go anywhere for 10 years. I developed a phobia of my kids getting sick. I just couldn't stop thinking about it. No mother wants their kids sick, but I was obsessing about it. And I knew it wasn't me. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, it turns out I had small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, SIBO, and leaky gut. So my gut was seriously troubled, and I'm healthy. I've been in the health and fitness industry for a long time. So I've really tried hard to be healthy. And it was kind of sickness by food pyramid, essentially. Too many healthy whole grains in inverted commas. Yes. So what I suffered my health crisis. And so what I did to remedy that was ditch grains, sugar, and seed oils in favor of whole foods, sunshine, sleep, and nature. And seriously, the results were incredible. And I felt so more focused and full of energy than I'd ever done. So after I became a primal health coach to help other people reclaim their quality of life, making similar diet and lifestyle changes. However, people found the lifestyle difficult to follow. They couldn't go without the comforting staples like pizza, bread, cookies, and pastry. I'd already mastered primal alternatives to the food we loved. As Mike told me, we couldn't go primal without cookies. So I took our family favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe, swapped the margarine for organic butter, the self-raising flour for almond meal, the white sugar for coconut sugar, and the horrid supermarket cooking chocolate for 70% cacao dark chocolate. The resulting cookie was sensational and way better than the original. And it left us feeling amazing. I knew I needed to master pizza and bread too. I found primal baking easier. No kneading, proving, or rising, or any sticky dough to clean up afterwards. Just chuck it in together, mix and bake. Faff-free baking, as I like to say. Faff-free, as in fuss-free, not fat-free. There were many fails along the way, but luckily we've got chickens to feed the failed recipes too. And I screwed up on pricing too initially, selling for less than cost price, as I had no clue how to cost a product. I nearly got tripped up on what to call the brand, which color, which font, all the stuff that really presents as a massive hurdle for any wannabe food producer. But all of the hard work has been taken care of with a Primalista license. No need for you to reinvent the wheel. And for example, at the moment, we're doing a major label upgrade because the Food Standards Authority for New Zealand and Australia has said there needs to be more clarity on labels. So this is a massive job. It's taken me at least 6 months in conjunction with proofreaders and graphic designers and lots of, so many proofreaders. But you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about when prices need to increase or anything like that. It's already done. And I'd love to show you how simple the Primal Alternative recipes are. You don't need a catering or chef background to become a Primalista. The recipes are just simply measure, mix, and bake. We can crank out many products in a short space of time this way. Also, as the loaves are smaller than a regular loaf and not sensitive to opening and closing the oven door, unlike conventional baking, we can get 12 loaves in the oven at once. And you only need a domestic oven. Whether you've got 600 or a 900, you can measure yours. I know you will. After this, measure across the top, not the inside. Both are as good as each other. So I started off with a 600 and then I thought I'd upgrade to a 900. But as I say, just start with what you've got. All right, I'm going to give you a demonstration of cooking. Yay, it worked. Let's make pizza bases. So I'm going in first of all with the cashew nut milk. Then I'm going in with my eggs. Then I am going to add the grain-free baking powder. And now in with the salt. Don't forget the coconut oil. So I'm just going to take that off the Thermomix and just scrape down the sides of the bowl. And just going to mix again, speed 5, 30 seconds. And then you're going to take your pizza tray and pop it onto the scales. So once you've measured it, I like to take it off the scales and then just spread it around using your spatula. So the pizzas are all done. So again, we want to take them off the trays straight away. And we're going to put them in the bag like this. And again, one last cuddle, squeezing the air out of the bag. And put the label in the center. And there you go. All right. So I first took the Primal Alternative products to market in 2014. So this is the eighth year that Primal Alternative brand has been out there, which means you get to jump on with the moving Primal Alternative train of brand awareness. When Primalistas show up at their first market, they say that their customers say, "Oh, great, Primal Alternatives here." Building up business from a standing start, though, is really hard, and through word of mouth, it can take ages. But Primal Alternative has the benefit of some serious industry leaders like paleo chef Pete Evans, Quirky Cooking's Joe Witten, Cindy O'Meara from the Nutrition Academy, Mark Sisson of the Primal Blueprint, Helen Padarin, the naturopath, which all make Primal Alternative a well-known, liked and trusted brand for you to benefit from. Perfecting recipes usually only takes one try before you're ready to sell. You may need to adapt the baking time to your oven, as all ovens are slightly different, and you may find the odd recipe trickier than the others, but you'll find heaps of tips from other Primalistas in our Facebook group to help you on your way. All right, we're racing through it now and this hasn't dropped out, and I'm so happy. All right. Step 4, get ready to sell. Once you've perfected your recipes, it's time to look for avenues to sell your products. For baked goods, one of the most effective methods of selling is via a stockist. That's a business that stocks and sells your product for a percentage of the profits. You'll have identified some potential stockists on the call with me or the Primalistas, and now it's time to approach them. This can be super daunting for some Primalistas who don't see themselves as salesy. And let me reassure you, you do not need to be salesy. You just need to tell people about your products, also known as marketing, and make offers. Easy. Product sales that you can touch and taste are much easier than concept or service sales. We don't have a minimum order quantity. So even though not every potential stockist will say yes, it's easy for most of them to give us a go. Stockists really value local producers, and customers value them supporting local too, which is another win-win over a non-local brand. Don't think of sales as bad, because a business without sales is just a hobby. So that means everybody's in sales. And instead of worrying about how you're going to come across, why not think about what's in it for your customers? When you think about how you're helping them and making a difference to their health, it can be such a different energy to come from. When you become a Primalista, you will find a ton of sales and marketing training in the resources section, along with amazing brochures for you to take, and a script to read. So when you get to your stockist, you don't think, what am I going to say? It's got some prompts of questions to ask. So it's a very ethical way to do sales. So our way of selling would be to go into a stockist and say, what kind of customers do you get? Do you get people asking for grain-free products? Do you think there's a market for you in your customers for grain-free pastries, easy to eat breakfast cereals, that kind of thing? It's very nice. And also when you get access to the Primalista resources, you'll find some super helpful tools to help you secure your first few stockists, including our super brochures. You'll also need to implement a marketing strategy to build your brand and reach your customers. And you could look at starting a social media channel, building a website, and set up branded signage for a market stall. In the Primalista resources, you'll find over 500, probably more now, professionally taken photos to use for your marketing, as well as social media tiles marketing ideas, and even a social media calendar of all those crazy days like bread day, pumpkin day, take your dog to work day. Primalistas are producing super content all the time, which you can share the love and repost their content too. One strategy many Primalistas find successful is influencer marketing. This is where you approach a social media influencer and offer to give them some free products to try in return for an endorsement if they like the product. Think of it like digital word of mouth. And if they have a lot of loyal followers, that word will spread quickly. Step 5, look at us go now. Buy your equipment and ingredients and start baking. All right. So you're ready to start baking and selling your products. You'll already have a lot of what you need to get started in your kitchen. And I recommend a lean startup. Don't get shiny object syndrome. Keep it basic so you can start earning money in your business quicker. Here's a quick outline of where to buy equipment and ingredients. Equipment. It can be very tempting to go out and purchase an entire kitchen's worth of equipment when you're starting out, but I'd recommend taking it easy so your startup costs aren't too high. You can always purchase more equipment later once you start earning some money. To get started, make a list of the necessary equipment and work out what you don't have. Then visit homeware stores or larger chains like Kmart or Spotlight to get what you need. I've created a list here, which you'll also find in the Primalista License FAQ page if you want to refer back to it after this webinar. A common mistake of bake from home business owners is that they spend too much money upfront on shiny new equipment. I'm not saying you shouldn't invest some money to ensure you have an adequate setup. You should, but it's just a smart idea to start small and add more pieces as you go. Because the truth is that if you have the right recipes, you can bake delicious restaurant quality food from your own kitchen without needing lots of fancy equipment. A clever way to reduce your upfront costs is to narrow down the variety of products you start with. That means you'll need fewer pieces of equipment. As you begin to earn money, you can expand your range and buy the necessary tools to bake more products. The exact equipment you need for your business will depend on the type of food you're baking, but to give you an idea, here's a list of equipment I recommend for new Primalistas and how much each item costs. Ingredients. We have already found reliable suppliers to source your ingredients in bulk to cut down your costs. And when you get your ABN, you'll be able to get wholesale accounts and get ingredients at super good prices. Purchase your dry ingredients in bulk from a supplier on our supplier comparison spreadsheet, which you'll find on the resources page, and other ingredients like butter, eggs, honey, and vegetables from local suppliers like farmers, health food shops, or supermarkets. Organizing your equipment and ingredients is the final action you need to take to set up your business. With everything in place, your business registered, your supply chain sorted, your stock is ready to sell, and your marketing attracted customers, you'll be ready to start baking and make your first sale. So, how is all of this sounding? If you think that this all sounds too difficult to accomplish on your own, don't worry. You can always look for help to make life easier on yourself and increase your chances of success. That's why a Primal Alternative license comes with so many resources and support to help guide you every step of the way. We can help you set up your business, give you the recipes, provide marketing and sales training and templates. Hang on, yep, just see what's coming up next. And give you lists of suppliers and stockists to source ingredients and sell your products. And I've never had a Primalista fail to make a sale. And 75% of them achieve this milestone within their first month. To give you an idea of what you can expect when you become a Primalista, I've included some testimonials here. So this is from Primalista Amy. She says, having not started quite 2 months ago, I've been blown away with how instant the cash flow was. It's helped me provide and add to my family's income. Amy is in her 3rd year as a Primalista now. She bakes around 3 days a week, which is enough to earn an annual revenue of $45,000, and she takes 6 weeks holiday a year. She sells her products at local markets, health food shops, on social media, the Primal Alternative online shop, and to friends and family. Her new business has enabled her to help her provide for her family and offers the flexibility to spend time with her kids. Primalista Rosie, hang on a minute. This is different to what I thought it was going to be. So Primalista Rosie says, it feels like a dream that I can earn money doing something I love while at the same time being able to be at home for my young son. So Rosie's business is in its 3rd year. She has it was in her 3rd year. She's actually in her 5th year now. But when we got these stats, her business was turning over 70,000 then. I know it's grown since then. And she takes 6 weeks holiday a year. She spends 3.5 days a week baking and sells her products at local markets, health food shops, the Primal Alternative online shop, and her own personal website. And we've got a little video clip from Rosie too.
Knew immediately that I wanted to do Primal Alternative as soon as I heard about it and read a little bit about it. I knew that I could do it. And the reason being is that everything, like all the startup things were, well, you know, all the bits and pieces, all the legalities, all the technicalities were already done. If I had to start from scratch, if I'd had to do the logo and the deal with council by myself, or even, you know, knowing that you have to deal with the council, I would not have had the confidence to do it. So if I was to say, so I didn't have a dream of having my own business. I knew before I started Primal Alternative that I knew that I wasn't where I wanted to be in life. I knew that I wasn't aligned with the profession I was in, but I didn't know how to get out of it. And then Primal Alternative gave me this amazing, incredible reason and path to move from where I was to where I wanted to be. And I knew that I wanted to be with Primal Alternative. I knew that I could do it. I just, yeah, like I said, if I'd had to do it all by myself, I would have really struggled to overcome the feeling of the lack of confidence in myself.
Love Rosie. Rosie did a really good, we did a Primalista panel during the virtual open week in May. So that is for people watching the replay, that is on this page as well, just underneath this webinar, which I'll be uploading later today. So if you want to find out more, if you think, oh, this sounds great, I want to hear from real life Primalistas, you can hear from Primalistas like that we did these interviews with a few weeks ago. So we've got Rosie from WA, Ash from Queensland, and Geeta from New South Wales, and they've all got amazing stories to share. So definitely check it out. So moving on with my testimonials, I've got Shah. So Shah, when we did these numbers, was in her 1st year. She's now in her 3rd year, and she's on a baking break, which is a really awesome feature of the Primalista license. So she has decided she wants to go back to uni and complete her master's because she's just amazing. So when you can go on extended leave for up to 18 months, if you have a genuine intention to come back to baking. And what happens during extended leave is your monthly membership reduces from $120 to $17.50. And all you need to do to qualify for extended leave is to have the license component of your Primalista license paid off. I'm going to explain more about that in a minute. I'm also going to dive more into profit margins in a minute because I can see a couple of questions about that in the chat. So when we did this, these tiles, Shah was in her 1st year and she spent 2 days a week baking from her own kitchen. And that's enough to put her on track for a 45,000 annual turnover business. And she takes 10 weeks holiday a year. She grew her business by calling local stockists, using the sales training on the Primalista Resources Library, which enabled her to find suitable stores to sell her products. She loves that she has been able to create a well-balanced lifestyle for her family, with a key focus on movement, nourishment, and a happy heart and mind. So we have a little video clip from Shah, which I'd love to share with you too.
It will fluctuate, but I think once you start forming relationships with a couple of good stockists, and really, when I first started, I thought I would need 5 or 7 or 10 stockists, but I've got 2, and they keep me plenty busy to do 2.5 to 3 days a week if you take into consideration the admin that goes along with running a business yourself and the deliveries, etc. But yeah, I think you start to build a good relationship with your suppliers, and it just becomes a repetitive business. So I've got a supplier who's incredible. It's an online organic farmers market that they don't just purchase or order the products from me. They market the hell out of my product and out of me, and they'll showcase stuff about me or about the products, and they'll, you know, like, I think my first order with them in the first week was 100 different products. So I think building that relationship with people and with other groups, especially in businesses where it's about developing women and women working together, that will translate into the income that you're looking to get. So just from the stockist, on 1 day work a week, I basically earn more than what I ever did working in the corporate environment in 1 day. So if you took a day by day comparison, yeah. So
Awesome.
it will fluctuate.
All right. Okay. So I've got dozens of success stories from other primalistas, which you can read on our website, but you get the point, right? These women were in a similar position to where you are now. They wanted to start their own business, but weren't sure exactly how to go about it. They found Primal Alternative. They fell in love with the yummy, healthy recipes and the simple, proven approach to building a successful baking business. They now earn a living baking scrumptious food from their kitchens. How cool is that? So let's move on. What you must do if you want to grow your side hustle into a full-time business. A side hustle is more than just another stream of income. It's also the new job security. Isn't that true? That's from Forbes magazine. So whether you're a mum who wants to earn some extra income in your free time, or someone with a full-time job that's looking for a career change, or starting a hobby that pays, it's a great way to turn your love for real food into a stream of income. If you know what you're doing and put in the hard work, something that starts as a side hustle could quickly transform into a full-time business that provides a better lifestyle for you and your family. Not only would a successful business mean you could get paid to do something you love every day, but it would enable you to be your own boss. You could choose the hours you work, decide on when to take a break, and never miss a social commitment or family moment again because of some dumb job. Growing a side hustle into a full-time business is certainly possible, but it will take time and work on your behalf. There are 2 non-negotiable aspects of business you really need to get right in order to accomplish this, and they are an in-demand product. Your products need to be both high quality and in demand. We've done the market research and sure there is a market. We've perfected the products so that we stand out from the competition. Of course, the easiest way to ensure you have an in-demand product is to sell products from an established brand that you know already works, such as Primal Alternative. Our products are healthy, delicious, and already have an established market. In fact, 100% of primalistas said there is definitely a market for Primal Alternative products. Loyal customers. This is what I hear on call after call after call when I say, where do you see yourself in 12 months? What would need to happen for you to make it feel like this is a success? And the key thing is loyal customers. If you want a successful bake from home business, loyal customers are crucial. It's better to first focus on building up a strong base of regular customers rather than trying to sell as many products as you can. The more customers you can get who incorporate your product into their regular diet, the higher your chance of success. Repeat business will help provide steady sales even when the economy hits a rough patch, like now. During the Corona crisis, Primalistas reported record sales, proving that even during a crisis, people's values around food do not change. One of the best things about becoming a Primalista is that you can tap into an existing market to sell your products. Plus, with a range of yummy, healthy recipes that are suitable for people with allergies and intolerances, Primal Alternative foods are suitable for vegan, paleo, low carb, low FODMAP, and grain and wheat-free diets. We even have an online store, so you'll be able to take orders as soon as you're set up. Be clear on your why. It's so important, and it's the first thing we'll dive into on the Primalista call. You'll love the Primalista call. It's really more like a coaching session, a bit of a navel-gazing exploration of you and what you're looking for, but not listening to naysayers who say things like, nobody's going to pay $16.50 for a loaf of bread, or the mean girl who says, well, it might have worked for her, but it won't work for you. Just ignore those thoughts, right? Everybody has those. And setting healthy boundaries. Set healthy boundaries. So important. Denise Duffield Thomas says, boundaries don't make you a bitch. Isn't that good? It's so good. And setting healthy boundaries is absolutely crucial. I want a brilliant boundary that I would start with would be starting with just one day of baking a week and put all of your orders into that day, because when you cluster similar activities, you get into the flow state and you'll be able to smash out so much more. But it's sometimes hard to say, if your bake day is Wednesday and you get an order on a Friday, oh, okay, no worries, I'll bake that on Wednesday instead of rushing home and baking it for them now, because you will get sick of it if you're turning your oven on for a couple of loaves of bread every other day. All right. Let's move on to the most common mistakes of new business owners. Starting a new business is an exciting journey, but it's also a very challenging one. And sadly, too many new business owners fail to perform their due diligence and quickly run into trouble. In fact, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, more than 60% of new businesses in general shut up shop in the first 3 years. So what are the most common mistakes that new business owners make, and how can you avoid them so that you can set your business up for success and so it doesn't end up on the scrap heap? Let's take a look so you can steer clear of the costly errors and keep yourself on the path to success. Going it alone. Many new business owners don't seek the help they need when starting out. Instead, they try to cover every area of their business themselves. This leads to expensive mistakes, which ultimately cost them their dream. Finding other people who can offer guidance and advice will help you enormously when you start a business. That's why I provide so many resources for every new Primalista. Delicious recipes, baking demo videos, which you've just seen an edited one of, supplier and stockist information, marketing templates, sales training, and even one-on-one coaching sessions. It means you're never alone when you're starting out, and you can stay clear of mistakes and implement proven strategies to help grow your business. Failing to plan. I touched on this earlier, but it's very important because it can save you a lot of trouble down the line. It's far more difficult and costly to make substantial changes to your business 6 months after you register it. Come up with a clear plan for your business before you register, including what you intend to bake, who your target market is, the number of hours you want to put in, and what your budget is. A thorough business plan can help you avoid any nasty surprises and forge a clearer path to success. Primalistas get access to a great resource called My Business Blueprint, which is an 18-page PDF to walk you through your business plan. Before I make offers to new Primalistas, we always do our due diligence with regards to planning. We'll examine the time you have available, the amount of money you want to earn, and we check there are enough potential stockists for you in your area. Pricing your products incorrectly. This mistake is especially common for bake from home businesses, and it's understandable because it's such a tricky subject. Pricing your products too high can scare away potential customers, and pricing them too low could see you losing money instead of turning a profit. Pricing is very personal, and as health advocates, we sometimes feel guilty about charging for doing something that we love. In fact, I see many foodies start and quickly exit food businesses because they don't charge enough, or they don't understand the right cost of goods sold in their equations to nail their pricing. It can be very tricky to know exactly what price to set. And that's why I give every new Primalista pricing. It enables them to set the optimal price for each product so you know you're going to maximize your profits. I'd love to share the profit margins with you so you can decide whether you think this is a viable model or not. So, as you can see, what we've got here in the cost to produce. So our cost to produce includes the ingredients, label, and bag. And as you can see, it's about 30% of the recommended retail price. So if you were selling to at the retail price, so we've got two prices, retail and wholesale. If you were selling directly to at the retail price, that means you're selling to the customer. And you would make about 70% gross profit making our packet mixers. If you're selling to a stockist, that's a business that then sells on to the customer. They take a 40% markup, which equates to a 26%, and then your profit is 42%. So most Primalistas have got a mixture of wholesale and retail sales, and on average, your gross profit is about half the amount of sales that you make. So I'll just move you through the different products. And as you can see, the pricing model pretty much stays the same, right? All right. Now, if you want to look at those again and study them in a bit more detail, that's also on the website. If you go to how much can I earn as a Primalista, they'll all be on there and you can have a look. All right, so let's get into the membership bonuses and the 7-day cooling off guarantee. So you can determine if this business is suited to your budget. I'm about to also share the current bonuses available and our amazing 7-day cooling off guarantee. So there is $1,000 joining fee, and then you can either pay your license upfront or on a payment plan. So you can pay upfront for $5,500 and save $500, or you can pay on a payment plan of $620 a month for the first 12 months, and then it's just $120 a month after that. GST is included. There's no nasty surprises. You're either paying $1,000 joining fee, then $5,500, and then $120 a month after that, or you're paying $620, $1,000 joining fee, $620 a month for 12 months, and then just $120 a month after that. So this $620 is a combination of the Primalista license, so that you're paying that off over the first 12 months, $500 a month, and your monthly membership of $120. And let me run you through our amazing bonuses. So you'll get these bonuses. They're worth $1,700 when you join. Now, we're just, I'm going to be really honest with you. We're just moving to year end, and I am waiting to crunch the numbers to ensure that it's going to be viable for me to continue to offer this. So if you do the maths, you know, if you're saving $500 on your license and you're getting $1,700 of bonuses, I need to make sure that my, it's all working out financially. So I'm not sure. What I'm trying to say is, if you want to do this, get a jump on it, because I'm not sure. I can't guarantee that the price is going to stay the same, and I can't guarantee I can keep doing these bonuses. All right. That's just a heads up. So the baking starter kit is seriously an awesome Awesome. It's so good. So what you get in the baking starter kit is an organic fair trade primal alternative apron with your name and state on it. You also get a one-on-one coaching session with me to have whenever you want. You'll get 6 primal alternative bread tins, 200 compostable cellophane bags, and actually 220 personalized labels for your first few bakes. So other than your food business registration, which is about $500, it depends on your council, your first lot of ingredients, which you'll obviously earn your money back on once you start baking, and your insurance, that's all you need to get started, get up and running and baking. Now, if you want to then later on add on the packet mixes, then you'd buy the pouches, you'd buy the heat sealer, you'd buy various different labels for those, but you can get started just with that. How good's that? There's also over $1,000 of digital bonuses, including my health coaching courses Thrive and Set for Life, as well as my business blueprint, which I told you about before, which is a values-based business planner, and Aligning for Success, which is a tapping or an EFT course. Is anyone into tapping? I love tapping. It's an awesome, non-invasive, primal alternative specific way that it's a course I've put together with the common doubts and fears of primalistas. And that's a 5-day course. And you can just tap, tap, tap away, tap, 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 tap. So good. And that's all involved at the moment. There's a 7-day cooling off guarantee. So that basically means when you join Primal Alternative, you have a full 7 days to try all the materials and start setting up your bake from home business. And if at any point during those first 7 days you decide this is not for me, just let me know and I'll provide you with a full refund. All right. So with all that information I've just given you, would you like to go ahead and give it a try? Yeah. Awesome. So the next step is to book your free Primalista call. And on the call, what we're going to do is, as I mentioned, get clear on what you're looking for. Like, it's more of a coaching session. And we'll see if the Primalista license can help with what you're looking for and that you're a good fit for Primal Alternative. We'll share all the details of the license with you and answer your questions. And if it's a good fit, we'll offer you the opportunity to join us. So the link for the call is primalalternative.com/call. And we have call times available every day of the week, including weekends and evenings, which is so cool. All right, so we are going to move into the question and answer section now. So thank you so much for taking time to join me for this webinar, and hopefully you found the information helpful. If you do take the plunge and decide to start your own baking business, I truly hope your journey is fulfilling and successful as it has been for these Primalistas, because with the right support and friends and family, I'm sure it will be. The sky's the limit. And through this webinar, you've learned powerful and valuable information that, when applied, will change your business and your lifestyle forever. If you'd like to find out more about becoming a Primalista and how you can gain all the recipes, tools, and techniques you need for success, then we'd love to meet you. All you've got to do is to get in touch for a free 30-minute Primalista call. All of the calls are super fun and casual. We'll discuss your goals for your freedom-based business and outline exactly what you need to do to get your new business off the ground and make your first sale. However, all the info and steps covered in this webinar are worthless if you don't take action. If there's one thing I want to impress upon you, it's the importance of taking action, not waiting to be ready. There's no such thing as ready. There's only now. There's no nirvana future with more time and more money. So don't put off your dream of being your own boss. If you don't take action, something else will grab your attention and you'll be off looking for the next strategy, tactic, or silver bullet for your situation. I urge you to put the blinkers on and take action. And if you do, I can assure you, you'll reap the rewards and find the solution to the reason you showed up today. Building a successful business allows you to manifest your craziest dreams. You deserve success and can truly have it all despite the naysayers. I invite you on this journey and look forward to celebrating your success and hearing how becoming your own boss has transformed your life. So take the next step on your journey and book a Primalista call. Now, I will be taking all of your questions. So please put yours in the chat box. And while you do that, I'm going to show you the results of the Primalista survey, like I promised before. Hopefully it's going to work. Yay! It's going so good. All right, some questions have come into, oh, we don't want to watch it again. Don't watch it again, thanks very much. And don't forget, there's a got the door prize winner to announce in a minute. Very exciting. All right, some questions. And this is the final chance. We're going to be wrapping up literally in 2 minutes. So any final questions, please chuck them in the chat box. How hard is it to get your food business license? Also, one of my big stops is thinking my kitchen is a family kitchen. Would this be enough? Yes. So how hard is it? Usually, well, 78% of primalistas say that getting council approval is a fairly straightforward process. The key to getting it a good result is to have a good application, and the food safety program letter template and checklist will help you with that, and also good attitude. So, following up if needs be, that kind of thing. That's really key. But yes, your family kitchen is enough. This model has been designed for a domestic kitchen. When I started, we had a tiny kitchen. I had 1.2 meters of bench space, and that was it. And I utilized my kitchen table for cooling. So if I can do it with that, you can do it with whatever you've got. Okay, so when you sell to stockists, do you still get a good profit? You do, but not as much as if you were selling to the end customer. So for example, our low carb loaf costs $5.70 to produce, and you sell that at the retail price of $16.50. So you make a $10 something profit. You sell on the wholesale price of $11.80. You make $5 something, and the shop makes $5 something. So it's nice to have a mixture of the two. So when you have orders from a stockist, they just give you an order. You bake it, you drop it off, and that's all you need to worry about. But when you do a market, you bake, you might not sell everything. So that's the risk of, selling at the retail price. Plus, if you do a lot of direct retail sales, you have to deal directly with every single customer to organize your delivery or posting. So it's good to have a combination of the two, right? Are ingredient suppliers locally available and easy to access? Yes. Whereabouts are you, Christina? But yeah, pretty much. For your bulk ingredients, you would normally order those online from a bulk wholesale supplier with your ABN, so you can get wholesale price. And then you'd source your other ingredients like vegetables, eggs, butter from either a local supermarket or local farmer. Okay. How much baking do you have to do to make a decent profit? I have a medium-sized oven. Fine. You can use a 600 or a 900 oven. I love baking, but only done it for my family. That's cool. That's what I'd only done as well. Our products are the recipes are very streamlined, and each recipe makes multiple products. So it's very different than just cranking out a cake for the family. You sort of get more on a mission and pump stuff out. So it depends on what you mean by decent profit, because obviously that's quite subjective, depending on what you think is a good profit. But when I was a Primalista, I need to close that blind. It's the sun's coming in. Just bear with me a sec. Who's coming through? There we go. It's that winter time of the year, you know, and you get those funny angles of light and it goes white in my face. So when I was a Primalista, I used to bake for 2 days a week. And during that time, I could produce about $1,200 worth of product, of which about half was gross profit to me. That was about 80 items. So I'd bake on a Monday morning for my stockist delivery on a Tuesday. And then on a Thursday morning, I'd bake for my market on a Friday. And that paid the mortgage, which was a fantastic contribution. And I was doing it part-time from home. You know, when you're at home, you're not just at home working, you're at home putting the dishwasher on, you've got a load of washing on, you're hanging it out, you're getting dinner ready, you're making some yogurt, you're doing a workout, you're having a shower, you're having a lie down, having a cup of tea, scrolling on your phone. It kind of like all weaves in together, and you can create a day where you do what you want to do when you want to do it. How does the tax side of the business work? That's a good question. I'm not an accountant, so I can't answer that one. But essentially, you'd need to speak to your accountant for that one. Usually, you don't need to pay GST unless you're earning over $75,000 in your business. But I guess for that one, tax is the same as for any small business. And the good thing is about being a small business is that you have many deductions that you can claim because you're working from home. But again, definitely look online or speak to an accountant, as I'm not qualified to answer that. I have to say that. Okay, so pricing model is a part of joining. Yes. Where does the $1,000 joining fee fit in the payments? So there's a $1,000 joining fee, and then you pay $5,500 upfront for your license fee, and then $120 a month, or you pay $1,000 joining fee, and then $620 a month for the first 12 months, and then just $120 after that. Does that make sense? Ooh, what's happening? Got a black screen. Oh, you're in Gosnells. Yeah, you'll have no problem getting ingredients in Gosnells. Do you have to have special training to get a license? A Primalista license? So you get the training, you get the recipes and resources. That is the training. So I see the Primalista license a bit like a course. So a course in how to do a business by doing a business. Hopefully that helps that question. Let's say to earn over $700 a week, meaning a decent profit. Cool. Well, hopefully my example would have been helpful. Hi, Sean. Is it Sean or is it Sean on somebody else on someone else's computer? Because that happens quite a lot. I live remote in the largest town. We have mainly seasonal tourist market, which attracts many people, but also have a base market outside of these times. I would definitely need to get a hand to do some market research. Could you help with that? Well, usually people on Primalista calls, you know your area better than I do. I mean, it sounds, we live in a tourist town as well. So there's 5,000 people live in our town, but then during the seasonal times, it swells to 15,000 people. So what you'll be wanting to do, yes, you might get some seasonal trade at markets and things like that, but really you'd be looking to be of service to the locals. So on a Primalista call, that's what we look into. It's like, well, where are you going to get your customers from? Where do you think you could sell at? And you might be like, well, There's a really good local farmers market every week. Great. There's a local IGA. There's a couple of health food shops. There's a gourmet pizza shop that would stock some pizza bases for paleo mums. Hi, I knew it wasn't Sean. Hi, Kylie. That's so funny. Yeah, or cafes, places like that. So have a think about those sorts of places, Kylie, and then on the call, what we'll do is we'll have a look and see, has anybody already spoke to those places? Yeah, but once you start thinking, you think, oh, where will I go? And then once you start thinking it, your brain's like a magic porridge pot, and it just keeps giving you more and more ideas. But yeah, we'll definitely not so much do the market research, but ask you the questions so you can start to think, and do your own research, because I don't know all the towns, of course. I live in Sydney. Is it very expensive to sell your products on a farmer's market, meaning how much you pay to sell in there? It depends. Farmers market stalls usually aren't that expensive, but it would be a case of weighing up based on how much, like if you were spending $160 on a stall, but you were only doing $500 worth of sales, is that worth it? But if you're there and you're doing, like one of our prime listers did last weekend, $1,100 worth of sales, then yes, it's totally worth it. But those sorts of things are very much like, how long is a piece of string? It's like, well, is it worth your while? How much do you want to make for it to be viable for you to be there? But we know that all of our products have got a good product margin. Just those additional costs outside of that, So like if you're looking for farmers markets, like $250 for a stall, then probably not, But most of them aren't, because most farmers markets are there for small artisan producers like you. All right. A council license. No, you don't need any training to get a license. You just have to know the information in order to get approved. And so that's why when you become a Primal lister, we'll give you our food safety program, the letter template and the checklist, which will help you with that. So you'll make sure you've got the right information that they're looking for. Does that make sense? All right. Well, I hope you're all clicking on primalalternative.com/call. Yes, I hope so. But if you're sitting here and you're thinking, this is kind of cool, I'm on the fence, then what I would say to you, if you're not ready to book a call yet, what are you waiting for? No, if you're not ready to book a call yet, what I would suggest you do is go on the Primal Alternative website, look up stockists, find out a market where Primal Alternative are at, or a stockist, or order some products online. Try the product, see if you like them. Or if you Google primalalternative.com grain-free herb bread, then you can try a Primal Alternative-ish recipe. Obviously, we can't give away our trade secret recipes, but it's a tweak on our bread. So that's grain-free herb bread. So you'll be able to just Google search for that. So try that. The next webinar that I've got coming up before the end of the school holidays is on June the 21st, which is my birthday. It's my birthday. Go shorty. It's your birthday. So I'm going to do another info session then. And then I think the prices are going to go up. I don't know. I think they might be. So I just want to I'm really transparent. I hope they're not, but they might. It's a bit in the balance at the moment. So yeah. That's what I'm saying. And the other thing I was going to mention to you is June the 25th, we have got the Primal Alternative Summit. Have you heard about that yet? So we've got Elise Comerford. She's a nutritionist. She's going to talk about why go grain-free. We've got Joe Witten from Quirky Cooking doing a cooking demo. We've got Alex Stewart from Low Tox Life talking about why it's okay to have a quality outsource. And I'll be going through comparing Primal Alternative to some other supermarket alternatives, and hopefully have some primalistas join me too. So go to primalalternative.com/summit and get your free complimentary ticket for that. Shelf life on baked goods. Okay, so the shelf life's wicked. So for our granolas and packet mixes, that's 6 to 9 months. Ambient, that just means room temperature, shelf life. Cookies, 2 weeks, ambient. And then all of our breads have got a chilled shelf life of 2 weeks, and pizza bases. And our wraps have got 5 days chilled shelf life. So usually what happens is you would sell them at a market, customers take home, slice them, freeze them, get them out when they want them. Or if they go into a stockist, they were in the fridge for 2 weeks. Good, huh? So it's a much better shelf life than bread, because that's only got 2 to 3 days usually before it goes stale. All right, my darlings, thank you so much for rocking up and tolerating the technical glitches that we've had. And for those watching the replay, watching it, trying to adjust your sound at the beginning. I can't hear her. Yes. Oh, door prize winner. OMG, I nearly forgot. Where is the door prize? There. Right. Okay, so I'm going to randomly pick. I'll go out of there. I'm going to go to participants and I'm going to randomly pick. You've been so patient. Imagine if I just went, bye. You're like, where's the door prize? All right. My door prize winner is not Sean, Kylie. Yay! Kylie's a winner. Kylie's a winner. So please, Kylie, could you email me info@primalalternative.com with your address and your phone number so your nearest Primalista can get in touch and let you know when to expect your door prize, which will be delivered to your door from my door to, well, not my door, but I think. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you again so much for being here, and the call to action, please book your Primalista call, primalalternative.com/call. Bye for now.